Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I started this channel 6 months ago to document the lifestyle changes I've made since being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, an autoimmune disease that's completely changed the way I live my life. Today I wanted to share my journey from the first signs of joint pain, stressful life events that could have contributed, treatments and medications I have tried, to finding holistic ways to manage this condition. I had to completely change the way I live my life, from eating an anti-inflammatory diet, changing my workout regimen to something that wasn't too irritating and painful, stretching and foam rolling techniques to target painful areas, career changes, taking it easy while traveling, and knowing when to slow down and rest. I thought I'd just insert random clips of my life, recipes, workouts, ice baths, stretching, while telling my story. I went to a cafe and just started writing down everything that had led to my diagnosis, so let's get into it. My joint pain started happening in 6th grade. I had grown up playing sports all my life and became interested in basketball. Let me note that this is the same year my family had moved across country, which was not only a huge life change, but the change in humidity and heat as well. My left knee started bothering me, and it turned out to be patellar tendonitis. I went to physical therapy consistently for 6 months, and nothing worked. I was sitting out of PE, sports, I couldn't do anything. The orthopedic surgeon suggested a knee arthroscopy to clear out the damage and inflamed tissue. Luckily, this surgery helped me tremendously, and I was back on my feet playing basketball. By 11th grade, I faced another setback. By this point, I was playing very competitive high school and travel basketball, which was very intense on my body. During a game, I was accidentally kicked in the right knee by a girl from the opposite team. It hurt, but I was able to keep playing. The next morning, I woke up and I couldn't walk or straighten my leg without excruciating pain. This led to the next knee arthroscopy. Unfortunately, the surgery was not as successful and has continued to cause me issues since then. The knee pain only worsened in college. So fast forward to college, which was 2016 to 2020. My entire life, I had worked towards getting into veterinary school, working in a vet clinic since I was 17, volunteering at the shelter, shadowing veterinarians of all types, research, extracurriculars, etc. My knee was causing me so much pain that it was hard for me to work as a veterinary assistant, and I was having to use accommodations at work. I had gone to multiple doctors who had said my MRI had showed previous possible meniscal tears, but nothing that should be causing me so much pain. Then, I was denied from vet school in 2020. At this time, it felt like my entire world had crumbled. I became depressed, started eating unhealthy foods, and not exercising. I gained over 25 pounds. I eventually went back to my orthopedic doctor, and he recommended a specific sports and performance physical therapy. I started going 2 times a week, and these were intense exercises, but I would still be in pain afterwards, even though it was helping a little bit. I knew my knee was always an issue from previous injuries and surgeries, but then I started having right shoulder pain. Of course, I went back to the orthopedic doctor, did physical therapy, even got a steroid injection because it hurt so bad. Pain went from my shoulder up into my neck. I was even wearing a sling at times because it was so painful. A few months later, my right foot started hurting, a similar pain to plantar fasciitis. I knew something wasn't right with my body. Fast forward to 2021, I was denied from vet school again. I had a feeling this would happen, as I felt like I really struggled to submit a strong and heartfelt application. I wanted to take a break from veterinary medicine and focus on building my career as a biologist, which was the job I had at the time. I felt completely burnt out of the field, and I'd come home from work as a vet assistant in tears because I was in so much pain. From restraining large and often aggressive animals, the compassion fatigue, and low pay, I decided to take a step back and think about what I truly wanted in my life before applying again. I'm still to this day grieving this career and trying to figure out the right job for me. It was one of the hardest decisions to leave the veterinary medicine field, but it has been the best thing for my mental and physical pain. I do work as a scientist and believe it is important for people to truly understand what is going on with their bodies, so I thought I'd include a little background info about what rheumatoid arthritis is, the tests involved, and the medication classifications. Rheumatoid arthritis occurs when the immune system mistakenly identifies the body's own joint tissues as a foreign invader, leading to an inappropriate immune response targeting the synovial membrane, which is the lining of the joint, causing cytokines such as TNF-alpha and interleukin-6 to be released in excess, causing joint inflammation and damage. People with RA produce autoantibodies, such as rheumatoid factor and anti-citrullinated protein antibodies, or CCP for short, which are important for testing the disease. These autoantibodies target proteins that have undergone citrullination, which is the process of where the amino acid arginine in the protein structure is converted to citrullinine. RA causes the immune system to mistakenly recognize citrullinated proteins as foreign. So in summer 2022, I went back to my yearly primary care doctor appointment and had explained all of the efforts I was making to heal my knee, shoulder, and foot pain. He decided to test my anti-CCP levels, which is one of the major diagnostic tools when testing for RA. This test is highly specific to RA, so false positives are rare. A normal result is anything under 20, and mine was 106. Now, a strong positive is anything over 59. So yeah, I was immediately referred to a rheumatologist. At my first rheumatologist appointment, I was greeted by an older rheumatologist who was very cold. I only went to this RA doctor for a few months because it was such a frustrating experience. She asked me the same questions at each appointment as if to trip me up, like she was trying to catch me in a lie. She did more blood testing, including a rheumatoid factor blood test, which was also positive. This test detects the presence of rheumatoid factor autoantibodies. This test is often used to test for other autoimmune diseases as well, and it's not specific to RA. Another reason I was unhappy with this doctor was because she did not stop and slow down to talk to me like I was a human being. I was scared and unsure of what was happening to my body and why I was in so much pain. She had no empathy and did not explain anything about the disease to me. When I would ask about what the medications were doing, she had a hard time fully explaining what they did. Anyways, let's get into the medication trial. The first medication I tried was Celebrex, a COX-2 inhibitor in the NSAID category. This caused me to have a full body rash. She then put me on hydroxychloroquine, an anti-malarial, anti-rheumatic drug, which caused me to have heart palpitations. I had to go to the doctor for a heart monitor to take home and measure any arrhythmias. Luckily, I was fine and it stopped after discontinuing the medication. She then tried me on Humira, a biologic medication that blocks tumor necrosis factor, or TNF. At this point, I was still waiting on my referral to go to a new RA doctor. While I was trying these medications, I was also trying different NSAIDs to help me get through every day, like meloxicam, prednisone, Aleve, naproxen, etc. Fast forward to late 2022. I lost someone very close to me in my family. She died very unexpectedly, and it was extremely traumatic for me. I was in therapy at the time, and was glad to have my therapist get me through it. I won't get into too much detail, but I had lost a part of myself during this time. Not only was my body in even more pain, but my brain had never experienced such intense sadness. I was depressed, had no appetite, and was losing too much weight. But I knew I had to keep going to my doctor's appointments and keep up with my treatments. I mention these life events because I really feel like they have impacted my mind in many ways that probably impacted my body as well. Early 2023, I finally get a new doctor. A breath of fresh air. She is a younger PA that specializes in rheumatology. She was so empathetic and spends such a long time with me at each visit. She also has RA, so I knew she was the right person to go to, and I could relate to her very much. Once a year, I do knee, hands, and feet x-rays to monitor arthritic progression as well. At this point, I had been on Humira for 3 to 4 months. She decided to up the injection to every week instead of every 2 weeks. 3 months later, I was still in a lot of pain, so she decided to try methotrexate, a disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drug. I was not very thrilled to start this medicine because of the never-ending list of side effects, and especially birth defects, and as a woman in childbearing age, I was nervous. But I felt like my whole world consisted of pain, so I was desperate. I was still grieving the loss I had endured during this time, and felt that the methotrexate was worsening my depression. I felt so nauseous, had no appetite, felt weak, sad. I remember my 25th birthday and feeling so sick the entire dinner. My doctor then had me try sulfasalazine, another DMARD. I also felt like this medication was not helping my depression and the acid reflux was awful. I then tried Actemra, an IL-6 inhibitor, which is an injection once a week. This was the first time I really felt like a medication was working for me. I had no major side effects besides fatigue. I was still taking NSAIDs during the day, so obviously not pain-free, but heading in the right direction. I had been on Actemra for about a year. Pain was slowly getting better, especially after I decided to get on an antidepressant medication. This was when I started realizing of the true connection your mind has with your body and physical health. Getting on this medication helped my grief and depressive thoughts tremendously, but it wasn't a fix-all, of course. I still had work to do. Throughout 2024, I worked on learning new anti-inflammatory recipes, eating a clean diet, resting, going to hot yoga, getting deep tissue massages, and physical therapy. My workouts consisted of mostly physical therapy type exercises. 2025. At my most recent appointment, I had switched from Actemra to Rinvoq, a JAK inhibitor, which is a twice daily pill. She said I should start to see positive results after 2 weeks compared to 2 to 3 months on the injections. I immediately said let's do it. Let me also note that I was fighting with my insurance company after the first of the year because they decided not to cover Actemra anymore, because it was not medically necessary, and pushed me to the generic version tie-in. This happened to so many other people, and the specialty pharmacies were running low on stock. I was going on 2 weeks of not having any RA drug. I was in an immense amount of pain and in tears about the insurance issue, so I decided to go straight to my doctor and talk to them about it all. So far, I've been on Rinvoq for about a week, and I feel like it is starting to work, possibly better than my previous medications. This medication journey has been ongoing for 2.5 years. No one ever told me that it could take that long to find the right medication, and I'm not even sure if this is the one yet. I had no idea how confusing the specialty pharmacy process with insurance was, and how many times they were late to send me my prescription in the mail and missed a dose. I had no idea how often I would be going to the doctor or dealing with such immense medication side effects. Rashes, heart palpitations, depression, suicidal thoughts, hair loss, fatigue, irritability. I had no idea that I was going to be the one to figure all of this out. The RA doctors can only do so much with their short amount of time. The rest is left up to you. One of the biggest lessons I have learned from the past few years is that you have to be your own biggest advocate. You can decide to either not take care of your body, take the drugs, and live a sedentary and painful life, or you can choose to learn what's going on with your body. Learn how to cook healthy and balanced meals. Learn what your body can and can't handle with exercise. Learn how to stretch and foam roll, and take care of your mind along the way. And note how many times I said the word learn. My rheumatoid arthritis defines me in many ways, but it is not going to limit my success or ability to live a life full of movement and traveling. There were days when I would have looked at you and said my life is over because of this disease. It felt debilitating at times. I am forever grateful to have my partner Reese, my close friends, and my parents to talk about all of the battles it took to get to the place where I am now, sharing my story to help someone else who might be in my shoes 2.5 years ago. I'm here to tell you that your life is not over, and that there are other ways to holistically heal your body and help with pain, along with medication, of course, and that we just have to navigate the world a little differently. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you're dealing with RA or any chronic illness, I want you to know that you're not alone. Keep pushing, keep learning, and take care of both your body and your mind. If my journey can help just one person, then sharing this was worth it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or want to share your story. I'm here to support you.